Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of The Awesome with Cody. I'm your host, Cody, and today we are starting a brand new theme for April of 2021, and that is awesome tournament fighting movies. This is an all, so not like last week or last month. I themed these movies around the approaching release of Mortal Kombat on HBOMax, as well as in major theaters all around the world. HBOMax, of course, I think only in the United States, in theaters everywhere else. April 20... hold on. I'll tell you right now. April 30th? There's April 23rd. I should look that up. I should have looked it up before this. Anyhow, so Mortal Kombat, brand new reboot of the franchise, will be out. I'm not talking about it this month, just like I didn't talk about Godzilla vs. Kong last month, just movies that are similar to it. So this month we are doing tournament-style fighting movies or tournament fighting movies. They are in order of when I'm talking about them. This week is Kickboxer. Next week is Enter the Dragon. The third week is Best of the Best, and the last week is Warrior. And those are the movies I'm watching. So if you can watch them with me, along with me, or skip ahead and then hear me talk about them as they come up. So Kickboxer. Kickboxer is a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie released in 1989. Features actually some pretty big... well, not big people, but pretty one big person besides Jean-Claude Van Damme, and that is Dennis Alexio. Dennis Alexio is a real-life kickboxing champion. He has a very storied career of record being... his kickboxing record is 68 wins, 63 of those by knockout, 2 losses, 1 draw, 1 no contest. In professional boxing, he had a total of 8 matches, 7 wins, 5 of those by knockout, 1 loss by a knockout, and 0 draws. So if you do the math real quick, 7 and 1 is 8. So, but obviously much more prolific in kickboxing with 72 different matches that he fought in. 68 of those he won. 63 of those 68 by knockout, which is a lot. He even fought Don the Dragon Wilson, who is probably best known as being the best American kickboxer of all time. Which I don't even know. Actually, what is his record? Don the Dragon Wilson, what is your fight record, sir? Here we go. 82. So this is kickboxing. It's 82 total matches, 72 wins, 48 of those by knockout, 5 losses, 2 draws, 3 no contests. His boxing career, 9 matches total, 6 wins, 4 of those knockouts, 3 losses, those 3 by knockout. So yeah, he's touted as being the best American kickboxer of all time. I mean, having 47 knockouts is pretty good, if you ask me. Obviously, number-wise, Dennis Alexio actually had more, but, whatever. He's not the star of this movie. Jean-Claude Van Damme is the star of this movie. Dennis actually plays his brother in the movie, which is the reason, I'll get to the story in a little bit, reason why he is fighting. So the 4 people are in this that you would know from anything because they have, acting careers. Is Jean-Claude Van Damme, who plays Kurt Sloan in this particular movie. You have his brother, Eric Sloan, played by Dennis Alexio. You have Dennis Chan playing Zai Chow, which is the guy who teaches him the kickboxing. Muay Thai is actually what it is. You have Michael, I think it's Kesey, or Kesey, I'm not too sure how to say it, who plays the main villain in the movie, Tong Po. You have K. Ting Lee, plays Freddie Lee, who's the manager and scumbag of the movie. You have Rochelle Ashana, who plays Miley. You have Haskell Anderson, who plays Wilson Taylor, and you have Richard Fu, who plays Tao Lo. And a lot of those people don't have very storied careers in acting. It's basically just Jean-Claude Van Damme. So this movie was directed by Mark DeSale. I think that's how you say his name. I don't know of anything he's actually done outside of Kickboxer. But the other directing credit is David Worth. David Worth is a cinematographer. He has worked on Warrior of the Lost Worlds, Lady Dragon, Hard Knocks, co-directed Kickboxer in 1989. He's done a lot of things. He basically cinematographer for Bloodsport, Any Which Way You Can, and Bronco Billy. And of course, the movies I mentioned were the ones he directed. The movie, the story is by Jean-Claude Van Damme and Mark DeSalle. And of course, the screenplay is done by a gentleman named Glenn A. Bruce, who I don't know anything about. I didn't really look it up. Because he doesn't really, I looked it up, but he doesn't have a lot I could find. Without doing a lot of research, I didn't really do much. So, Kickboxer is one of my favorite Jean-Claude Van Damme movies from when I was growing, well, just in general, but also from when I was growing up. This one and Bloodsport, obviously, Bloodsport should have been on this list, but if you are a longtime listener or looked in this, I actually did a episode on Bloodsport in 2018 when I was doing awesome action movies from when I was growing up, I believe. And I love that one because the fight's brutal. The fighting is brutal in this one, or in that one. In this one, it's less tournament one. I know because he doesn't fight in a tournament. His brother fights in tournaments, but that's how we got here. So that's what I wanted to do. But it's still a fighting movie, and that's kind of the idea of this month's themes. So in this movie, Kurt Sloan, the younger brother of Corman. Corman. Younger brother and cornerman for Eric Sloan, who is the United States kickboxing world champion. And after another title defense, he is basically, I think it's kind of the same way that Rocky did it. Basically, the media says there's this fighter in Thailand who is undefeated, and that he should go fight him. So he goes there, gets a match with Tong Po, and gets his ass handed to him. Tong Po actually brutalizes him and cripples him and paralyzes him from the waist down, ensuring that he'll never fight again. In a rage, Kurt, played by Jean-Claude Van Damme, vows to avenge him by defeating Tong Po. So he then goes out to try to find a teacher. He cannot find anybody who would teach him. There, a gentleman they met after the brutalization Eric suffered, who actually gave them a ride to the hospital, played by Haskell Anderson, plays Winston Taylor. He tells him of a gentleman several people are in this, but the guy who teaches him, Zhao Chow, or Zane, I can't talk. I think it's Zhang Chow. I should remember how he says his name. I just watched it, but it's okay. So he's reluctant to teach him, and he only teaches him because Kurt ends up saving his niece, Mai Li, from being robbed by a bunch of thugs who are on the Freddie Lee payroll. Freddie Lee is the manager of Tong Po. And so he's, out of kind of like a thanks, he teaches him. He learns Muay Thai and becomes very good at it. There's a really funny scene where he's drunk at a bar and ends up getting in a fight with a bunch of Freddie Lee's men, and it leads to a fight being set up between Tong Po and Kurt, and then Freddie Lee, thinking he can fix the fight, he sends Tong Po after Mai Li, who then he beats up and rapes. And then Freddie Lee sends his men to kidnap Eric, the crippled brother of Kurt, to hold as ransom to basically force Kurt into throwing the fight after going the distance with Tong Po. He's supposed to throw the fight. And if he doesn't, he's going to kill Kurt or kill Eric. And so Winston Taylor, as Taylor even calls him, and Zane, I don't know how to say his name. His teacher, he go after and try to find where he's at, and they do, and they rescue Eric, and they bring out there just in time for Kurt to basically ask Mei Li to cut his bonds, and he then fights Tong Po and beats the balls off of him, defeats him, and then he celebrates with his friends and family. So in this, there's a couple of cool things. One is the bar scene I was talking about, the training stuff, and there's this iconic scene of him earlier in the movie when he goes, I should have said this earlier. So when they go to Bangkok to fight Tong Po, Kurt is very apprehensive about it. He tries to tell Eric not to do it. Eric is supremely confident that he can beat him. And like I said, the first round, he loses very one-sided. The second round, he is badly beaten. When Kurt sees this, he throws in the towel. Tong Po then kicks the towel out and proceeds to, at this point, paralyzes Eric by repeatedly hitting him in the lower back with his elbows. Of course, severing his spine, causing him to be paralyzed. But then the training montage, that what you see earlier in the movie before the fight happens, Kurt sees Tong Po warming up, and he's repeatedly kicking a cement pillar, bare-legged, in preparation for what he's about to do, and that makes him very nervous, and he tries to tell Eric, and Eric's like, that's it, I can handle this. Then he becomes paralyzed, and obviously couldn't handle it. So in the training montage that happens for Kurt, is he's shown kicking a palm tree until he can break it, a small palm tree. I think it's a palm tree. It might not be a palm tree, but to me it looks like a palm tree. And then that's part of it to symbolize the strengthening of his legs. And it's like there's blood. First, when he's doing it, it becomes bloody and broken and things like that. And eventually tolerates the pain, and his body becomes his shins become calloused and thickened up, and he can then kick the palm tree and break it, things like that. Basically showing that he's been working his body just like Tong Po to then strengthen it to be able to kick palm trees in half and then kick cement pillars and stuff like that. So they have a fight. Of course, at this point he's really trying not to knock Tong Po out, and there's a couple times where he comes very close, but he has to not do it, and Tong Po gets the better of him. They go back and forth until like the I don't even know what round if they even, is it the third round, I think? I don't remember if it's rounds or not in that one. Anyways, he then asks Miley to I think it's Miley to cut the bonds. Oh, I guess I didn't even speak of that. So one of the stipulations for this fight is they're going to fight traditional style, or what they refer to, I think they do is, what do they call it? I have it here somewhere. Insisting for the blackmail Kurt into fighting. Oh, the ancient way. Sorry. They want to fight the ancient way. Both fighters wrap their hands in hemp rope. Then they apply. Those are coated in resin and then dipped into broken glass to make them deadly weapons. And so there's a lot of like cutting and scraping and like solid punches and stuff like that. Some continuity errors happen in this, but it's 1989, and the budget of this movie is like less than $3 million. So, it wasn't the most top notch of productions, but it was 1989, so it was just action at that point. It wasn't, it wasn't like it needed to win an Oscar or anything like that. But yeah, that's I think that's everything for Kickboxer. Check it out. You can watch it. You know what? I don't even know where you can actually watch it. There's, by the way, if you look it up, there's a ton of Kickboxer movies in the Kickboxer franchise. There's a total of where is the 7? No, 8. Total of 8 of them. And really, there's only 2 good ones. So, you know, you can watch those ones. I've watched almost all of them, I believe. You can watch Kickboxer on Prime Video. That's where I watch it. If you have Amazon Prime. Or buy it digitally, or if you can find a DVD or Blu-ray of it. You can probably rent it for pretty cheap. But yeah, so check that out. It's pretty fun. I enjoy it. I do like that movie a lot. So tune in next week. I talk about Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee's final film that he completed before passing away at the age of 32, unfortunately. But yeah, come back, hear about that, and tune in the rest of the month as I talk about different tournament fighting movies. And again, this one and Enter the Dragon are less tournament-y, and I'll get to that next week. But they're the closest things I could really find of movies that I really, really liked. Because there's like Undisputed, which is not bad, but not great. There's other ones too, but Warrior's a good one too, so come back for that. And Best the Best is one of the best tournament fighting movies of all time, with Eric Roberts and his man bun. Or Top Pony? I don't know how to say it. But anyways, that's it for this week's episode, everybody. As usual, I'm your host, Cody, of The Awesome Cody, and I always like to say at the end of these, let's be awesome.